Don't forget to look surprised when the moment comes, my sister whispered over the phone, her tone sharp, gleeful. She didn't know I had the extension on. My father's voice slid in, flat, unyielding. She'll smile, or she's out. Simple. Mom chuckled, the kind of sound that could make nerves twist. Perfect. Everyone will be watching. A small, shaky breath lodged in my chest. My palms went icy, as if the December air had seeped through the phone straight into my skin. I thought about every dish I'd scrubbed while they toasted others, every holiday, every smile, every toast I'd been expected to fake, while my name was just a prop, never the focus. The ache settled in my teeth, forcing a clench. I was Amelia Drake, I reminded myself. I don't tell stories to be believed. I tell them to be felt. A week before Christmas, I overheard the plan. A humiliation meticulously plotted in front of everyone at the annual family gathering, followed by exclusion, a subtle shove out of my own home. I swallowed once, letting the frost of anger slide down my throat. And I knew I had to change my plans. I moved silently, each step deliberate, like turning off a light without sound. Calls were rerouted, vendors reassured, reservations quietly shifted. One list, what I owed. One list, longer, what they owed me. December 24th arrived with the sharp smell of tangerines and chimney smoke. Mom called, sugar in her voice. "Amelia, where are you? Don't be late." I laughed softly, dry and flat. "Don't wait for me, or the catering." Inside, the kitchen clock ticked like tiny hammers against the silence. I opened a window, letting the cold climb into my lungs. It steadied me. For too long, I had swallowed humiliation. Tonight, that ended. They wanted a stage. They built it with their own hands. Strings of worn lights, polished name cards, a mic poised to crackle with each joke. Every step a trap dressed as celebration. The plan, orchestrated by my sister, was a roast wrapped in love, followed by a shove wrapped in boundaries. They forgot one thing. I knew every corner of that house, every hidden ledger, every catering receipt. I set my phone down, pressing 2 fingers to my wrist to count beats. Control is quiet, but undeniable. Calls came. Dad, this time, declined. A message from my aunt, "Bring the cranberry tarts." A smirk tugged at my lips. Those tarts were already delivered to the shelter down the street. So were the trays, all of them labeled and redirected. Salmon table, roast table, all of it. Snow fell outside, soft and heavy, muting the world. I heard my own voice again, the first time in years. I zipped my coat, clutched an unmarked envelope, and stepped into the night toward the place in that house they never imagined I would go. The snow creaked beneath my boots. The envelope pressed against my palm, warm, alive. Inside were receipts, photocopies, and proofs of every bill I had quietly covered, deposits, catering, all the Christmas expenses I had silently managed while being mocked. I carried it like a spark, ready to light the truth. Through frost-tipped trees, their house glowed. Cars lined the street, exhaust curling in the cold night air. Laughter spilled through open windows. I stopped, watching. My sister's voice rang out, high and careless. "She's always late. Wait until you see what we have planned for her." The room erupted in laughter. I let the sound wash over me, then hardened. Tonight, I wouldn't speak louder than them. I'd let their stage crumble beneath its own weight. I moved to the side entrance, the service door, where I had once carried trays in silence. My key still fit perfectly. They never changed the locks. They never expected me to return. Inside, warmth hit me, mingled with cinnamon and candle smoke. The dining room looked like a magazine spread. Polished silverware, mountains of wrapped gifts under the tree, my family in red and gold, glittering, oblivious.
Mom raised her hand. When she shows, we'll toast. Her smile froze me in memory, the one she wore to cut me down when I was 10. I leaned against the doorway, unseen. I watched them rehearse cruelty like theater, and I realized I didn't need to shout. I needed only to let the illusion fail. I pressed the envelope against the table, sliding it near Mom's champagne flute. Every deposit, every dollar I had given, every bill I had quietly handled, redirected. I was done serving, done pretending. Tonight, their stage would reveal itself. Gasps filled the room. Mom's hands shook. My sister's laugh cracked. She's bluffing. No bluff. Every number was real, every signature clear. The crowd didn't need my words, only their silence, thick and spreading like spilt wine. I stepped forward, the glow of the tree illuminating half my face, shadows swallowing the other half. Funny, I said softly. Exactly what I came to say. Dad's brows furrowed. What does that mean? His authority faltered, a slight tremor in his jaw betraying unease. I opened the envelope fully, sliding receipts, invoices, and proofs across the polished wood. Your Christmas feast? Already served elsewhere. Hope you brought an appetite for leftovers. The room stilled, a tense hush. I let the silence stretch, watching them squirm. Their perfect facade crumbled under the weight of quiet truth. Then, the doorbell rang, sharp, insistent. Head snapped toward it, relief flickering. But I knew who was there. 3 men in dark coats carried boxes stamped with a logo none of them recognized. Delivery for the Drake family, one said calmly. Confusion rippled. I let it speak for me. Every package, every plate, every carefully arranged tray I had quietly redirected now stood in front of them. Shelters, families, those who truly needed it, they would feast while the room sat in stunned silence. Mom's hands trembled over her necklace. My sister paled, reddened, paled again. Dad's fist struck the table. Ungrateful child. Not ungrateful. Unnoticed. Unpaid. Unwanted until you needed a servant. Tonight was meant to humiliate me, but the humiliation is yours to bear. The men tipped their hats, leaving, snow curling behind them. Silence pressed. I reached into my pocket and retrieved a single folded card, placing it deliberately in front of my sister. Hesitation, for the first time in her life. She opened it, color drained. This isn't real, she whispered. Oh, it's real, I said, low and steady. Every receipt, every account I had quietly managed, gone from their hands into mine. Every card canceled, every account redirected. The truth fell like snow, thick and suffocating. Murmurs rose, eyes widened. They weren't laughing anymore. Why? My sister asked, voice cracking. I looked at her not with hate, but clarity. Because you never saw me. You only saw what I could serve. Tonight was supposed to end me. Instead, it mirrors you. Guests shifted uncomfortably. My family's power, long concentrated at the center of the table, slipped away. I turned toward the staircase, boots clicking, snow melting at my heels. The hallway smelled faintly of pine and old wood polish. Family portraits glared silently. At the end, my old room, lavender walls untouched, held the lockbox I had left years ago. Inside, shares of the family business, quietly accumulated, unnoticed, unremarked. While they mocked me, I had invested. While they plotted, I had secured ownership. Downstairs, laughter had dulled to anxious murmurs. They believed the damage ended at dinner. They didn't know I already held the foundation itself. Steps sounded softly. My sister's voice trembled. Amelia, what are you doing up there? I tucked the documents into my coat, stepping back into the hall. Collecting what was always mine, I said, calm, gentle. I descended, each step deliberate. Silence followed me, not them. At the bottom, The room had changed. Laughter gone, replaced with discomfort, shame, awe. Mom and Dad stood at the center, brittle crowns slipping. My sister lingered, eyes fixed on the coat pocket, the weight of years and truth pressing down. I stepped closer, unhurried. Every gaze followed. Dad tried first. "This is family business, Amelia, not to parade before guests." I laid the papers flat atop the unopened gift box. "I own more of it than you ever noticed." Gasps echoed. Murmurs spread. My mother's hands trembled. My sister's throat bopped. My voice cut sharp. "You planned my humiliation. I returned it." A final silence, heavy as frost. Guests understood without words. Respect mingled with fear. My family's stage had collapsed under its own weight. I stepped outside, the night crisp, untouched, documents pressed warm against me. A reclamation, not revenge. They wanted to control the story. I walked away carrying the pen. Snow swirled around my boots. The church bells struck midnight. Christmas had arrived. Not theirs, mine. And with each toll, I felt lighter, free.